What's going on today, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, as you can tell by the title of this video, we are going to be saying goodbye to the Genesis G70. So to some of you guys, this might not be a car that you guys are familiar with outside of the channel banner and maybe the one or two videos that I did make on it. But if you guys haven't seen the full walk around tour video, I'll go ahead and put a card in the corner so you guys can get an idea of what spec this car is. But I'll give you guys a quick rundown here. This is a 2019 Genesis G70 3.3T Dynamic Edition with all-wheel drive. This is one of the 400 Dynamic Edition units for the 2019 model year. These were special editions alongside the Design Edition, which also had 400 units. But really, each of the special editions just had a couple small design and performance upgrades depending on which special edition you got. Now, all the Dynamic Editions came in the Havana red paint color, which to me is the absolute best color on this car so far to date. I think it goes super well. It's a nice deep blood red color, quite a bit of metallic flake in the paint. But otherwise, the performance upgrades include the Pilot Sport 4S tires, along with different brake pads for the Brembo brakes all the way around. There were some other changes. Reportedly, there was like enhanced cooling for the cooling system on this car. There was different suspension tuning and damper tuning. I suppose we had the most aggressive electronic damper tuning offered on the G70, and there might have been one or two other small things, but overall it was definitely based on the sport trim level for sure, and it'd be hard to tell this car from the sport trim level if they're in the same paint color for sure, other than the tires, but that's something you can change after the fact. But definitely a great looking car, definitely a high performing car for the price point. And there's really not a lot to complain about in terms of driving dynamics and stuff for the G70, with the, especially in this trim level with the extra performance upgrades and everything like that. I mean, this car drives and handles, and just overall a great car for sure. But yeah, just a overall great looking car, everything like that, fully loaded as you can get for definitely for the 2019 model year, but in general, other than the power trunk on the later models. As you can see, this one has the red diamond stitched Napa leather interior. Beautiful interior on this car, man. It's definitely in super good condition. But yeah, very good car, very spotless car. Nothing wrong with this car at all. Just have a few things we have to clean up out of it before it goes away. But definitely a spotless example of the G70. So with such high praise for this car, you guys might be wondering why we are ending up getting rid of it, and that is simply because well, I guess there's two main reasons. One, the car is hardly driven, especially due to the pandemic. And the second reason is the dealer support in our area. We don't have a dealer anywhere near this area. The closest one is, I think it's 92 miles away or something like that. So it's well over an hour drive away. And once you get there, it's not a very nice dealership, to be honest. So you definitely don't get any luxurious treatment or anything like that, since it's just a old Hyundai dealer. So those are the two main reasons why we're getting rid of this car. You'll see the mileage in a second when I go ahead and show you guys on the interior, but this car is just not driven at all. It's got under 4,000 miles on it, and we've had it since May of 2019. So yeah, it's just really not driven, and if we do come across a problem that needs to be resolved on this car, We have to drive well over an hour each way just to get it done. So it is a little unfortunate that we're getting rid of this car, because my dad has been supporting the Genesis line of cars for over 6 years now. He first had a 2013 Genesis R-Spec with the 5-liter V8. That was a blast to drive. Then shortly after getting that car, we ended up with a 2015 Genesis 3.8 all-wheel drive Ultimate package. That car was great. Very little issues with that car at all. I guess the really only issue that we had was the gas filler door would not open at one point, so we had to get that replaced. The whole mechanism kind of broken there. But then after that car, he ended up trading that car for this car in May of 2019, like I mentioned. This car has definitely been the best driving car out of all three of those. Ton of fun to drive, but yeah, it is definitely sad to be leaving the Genesis line of cars after 6 years. And that is mainly due to the fact that we do not have a local dealership in the area. They ended up not choosing to carry the brand during the whole brand shuffling in, I think it was 2018, when all that happened just before the G70 launched in the US. That was a very unfortunate time, because really dealerships were either forced not to carry the brand or were forced to put money up front to build their own dealerships. And now, a year or year and a half later from that, seems like any dealership can carry the brand if they want to, or with very little effort on their part. So really, it was very unfortunate how that whole time played out for Genesis and the dealership structure. And here we are about 2 years later, and the whole dealership structure still doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction per se. But hopefully within the next few years they can definitely sort that out, create a better customer experience at their dealerships, especially with the new SUVs coming out and the new G80 and everything like that. So I definitely think that is one of the key points they need to focus on for the brand, in terms of retaining customers and also attracting new customers, is the customer experience at the dealerships. So bringing up the dealership experience and everything like that, you guys might be wondering, have we had any major issues with the Genesis G70 in the last 15 months or so of owning it? And I have to say, yes, we did, and it was basically on day one of owning this car. So the major issue we had with this car that actually occurred on day one of ownership was the fact that the smart cruise control on this car was falsely detecting objects in front of the car while in use, and it would basically apply the brakes fairly moderately, I would say, and slowing the car down for that false detection in front of the car, and it would basically do it randomly while the smart cruise control was activated on the highway. And this is no joke that this issue happened with less than 200 miles on the car on the way back from buying it up in the Chicago suburbs area. Then this issue kind of didn't really show its face very much until later on in the ownership, with a little more mileage on the car. And eventually it got to the point where it was unsafe to use the smart cruise control on the highway, because it was falsely detecting objects, every couple minutes while driving down the road. Oh, even with a car in front of you. And again, it would go from 70, 75 miles an hour, whatever you had the smart cruise control set at, down to, we have video of it recorded down to like 20 or 25 miles an hour in like 8 seconds or so. It slowed the car quite a bit very quickly, and it was very unsafe to drive. So that issue was the main issue we had with this car. Resolving it was not as easy as you'd think it'd be with the video proof we had. So that was very unfortunate. Now we ended up getting the smart cruise control sensor up behind the front grille replaced, and that seemed to be the main cause of the issue, a faulty sensor. We were not the only ones with this issue. This was a issue that we saw on early build 2019s, we think. I've definitely seen some other posts about it on Facebook and on the Genesis forums. So that was the only major issue we had with this car in 4,000 miles, as you guys know. So yeah, that didn't seem like a widespread issue, but other people have noted the sunroof rattles on this car, the chrome trim peeling on this car, the wheel finish peeling. None of that has presented itself on this car yet, but as you guys would know, with low mileage cars, that's definitely not going to be a problem unless they sit outside or anything like that. So not to say that this car won't have any of those issues in the future. We're not really wanting to take that risk not having a local dealership. So you guys might be wondering, since it's being sold, where is it going? And the answer is to Vroom down in Texas. Now locally, we're getting offers between $33,000 and $35,500 for this car, but Vroom was well over $37,000. So that is simply why this car is being sold to Vroom down in Texas, and it is going to be shipped and sold down in Texas. So if you guys are interested in this car, it should be on Vroom's website as we speak. Now I will also be making a Vroom review selling experience, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure to keep an eye out on the channel. This car is supposed to be picked up within the next 3 days, so but definitely keep an eye out for the Vroom selling experience if you guys are interested in that. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you guys did, let me know in the comments below, and please hit that like button, as it definitely helps me out here on the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the Genesis G70 being sold, or if you own a G70 and have had any issues. Let me know down in the comments, because I would definitely be interested to hear those if you guys did. But anyways, yeah, Genesis is going to be gone in the next few days, and not sure what we're going to be replacing it with. Nothing for the time being, but maybe something shortly down the road. All just depends. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, once again, please hit that like button, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.